Hello everybody, welcome back to another Mystic Islands video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm back again for another faction video. So we got two factions left to go over. We actually went through the overviews of all the factions, basically telling you the strategies and how to win and their play style and stuff like that. But I did not go over all of the cards in all the factions. So today I'm going to be going over the skeleton faction. I know a lot of people like the skeleton faction, and then next I'm going to go over the dwarf, and then I'll probably have a video in the future going over every single card in set 1 start to finish, just because I feel like that'd be a cool video and people like to see the cards. So alright, starting off for the skeletons here, we have Clumsy Bones. Cost 1, 1 attack, 4 defense, and he has the decay skill. So the decay skill means every turn this creature is on the battlefield, put a -0, -1 counter on it until it dies. So the first number is attack, the second number is defense, so basically he loses 1 defense every turn that he's on the battlefield until death. We also have Skeleton Rogue, cost 2, 3 attack, 2 defense. While he's on the battlefield on your turn, you can pay 1 to sacrifice Skeleton Rogue, and then you gain 2 health. So that's in desperation there, you could just kill him to gain health. This guy's actually very good. Skeleton Warrior. He costs 1, 1 attack, 1 defense, and he has Obstruct. So you can see his stats and his costs, and you're like, whatever, he's just a 1 attack, 1 defense. But Obstruct basically means this creature stops damage left over from affecting the caster. So that means if you hit this creature with a 5 attack, 5 defense creature, the extra 4 damage that he cannot block would actually bleed over to your health. But because of Obstruct, that extra damage just dissipates into nothing, and you don't take any damage. So he's basically just a 1 attack, infinite defense blocker. So that's pretty awesome for 1 crystal. This guy is one of the rares for the skeleton faction in set 2. Now this guy's a little strange. As you can see, his attack and defense are X's. So to figure out what that is, you just got to read the card. So it costs 5, aged skeleton soldier. It says this creature's attack and defense are equal to the amount of skeleton faction creatures in your graveyard, with a limit of 7. So essentially, if you get this guy out early and there's only 2 or 3 guys in your graveyard, his attack and defense is going to be 2 or 3. But as more of them get into the graveyard, he's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. And therefore, if you play this late game, you can get a 7 attack, 7 defense and max him out. Should be very good for a 5 cost. We also have Ghost Rider. 3 attack, 3 defense. While he's on the battlefield on your turn, you can pay 2. Put the top card in your graveyard on the top of your deck. You can only use that skill once. It's a good way of getting things from the graveyard. Skeleton Aerowist, costs 2. 3 attack, 1 defense, so he's top heavy. When this creature dies, add 1 Chaos Crystal to your stash. This guy is very good, especially for a common. You can run 4 copies. So essentially, get him out there. He's got good attack for his value, and when he dies, he gives you a resource back. As you can see, the theme of the skeletons is pretty much death, decay, and essentially sacrificing themselves to help you win the game. Right here we have Undead Mummy Spaz. This guy's pretty unique. Costs 3, 4 attack, 2 defense. You can cast this creature for 2 crystals instead if a skeleton faction creature entered the graveyard this turn. So let's say you just attacked with your Clumsy Bones and he ended up dying. Well, as long as he's a skeleton faction creature and he just died on your turn, you can cast this guy for 1 less crystal than he originally costed. That's a very good deal there. This guy right here, Standard Skull Soldier, cost 2, 2 attack, 2 defense. This creature can only attack if your opponent owns at least 1 creature. This creature is not much. He's okay. He's just a solid creature. Got an ability card right here. Disassemble. Pretty cool artwork, I think. Cost 3. Your opponent puts their hand at the bottom of their deck. They draw 5 new cards. So essentially they take all the cards in their hand, put it at the bottom of their deck, and then they draw 5 new ones. So if your opponent's smirking at you, thinking that they have a bloodthirsty or 2 in their hand, getting ready to destroy your aged skeleton soldier, tell them think again and play a Disassemble. Get rid of their whole hand. The second rare for set 1 for the skeleton faction is Colossal Bonebreaker. Cost 7, 7 attack, 6 defense, so a tad bit underpowered, but that's because his ability is very powerful. So for every Clumsy Bones creature in your graveyard, it counts as 1 Chaos Crystal towards casting this card. And when he dies, you banish him instead of putting him in the graveyard. So essentially, every Clumsy Bones in the graveyard counts as 1 crystal to pay for Colossal Bonebreaker. And you can have up to 4 copies of Clumsy Bones. So if you get lucky in a game and kill all 4 of your Clumsy Bones, this guy's going to cost 3 crystals, and he's a 7/6. He's literally ginormous and awesome artwork. Love the artwork. My girlfriend did it, and it is probably the best in the game. I'm not going to lie. Scarce Land Scavenger, cost 4, 4 attack, 4 defense. She also drew this one as well. While it is your turn, you can pay 2. This creature is killed and put a +1 attack, +1 defense counter on target skeleton faction creature on the battlefield until it dies. So essentially, if you're in a crunch and you need your another skeleton to be 1 attack, 1 defense bigger in order for it to survive, you can sacrifice this guy as long as you pay 2 to do that, to put a counter on a skeleton. We also have Death Whisperer, also really sweet art, especially for a common. He costs 5, 6 attack, 3 defense. Pretty weird stats there, but when casted, look at the top card of your deck. You can either put it back on top or discard it. So that'd be a good way of, maybe you draw Clumsy Bones and you're like, oh, I can just throw this away for free. I don't have to cosplay it. And there you go. Or if it's something you like, just put it back. Another ability card right here, Undead Collector. This is very good for if you're running against a skeleton deck as well while you're running a skeleton deck. So basically in a mirror match, this would be a very good card. Undead Collector. Costs 4. A little expensive, but it says for as long as this ability is on the battlefield, your opponent's creatures that are killed go into your graveyard instead. When this ability is destroyed, return all the creatures to their original graveyards. And it says permanent at the bottom, meaning this stays on the battlefield as soon as you cast it. Stays there, and it'll just keep racking up your opponent's skeletons in their graveyard, and they're just sucking them into your graveyard to power up your deck instead of theirs. Pretty sweet. Alright, we got another little guy. Struggling Scout, cost 1, 1 attack, 2 defense. You'd think that's really good stats, but he does have decay, meaning he will lose 1 health permanently every turn, so he's going to die in 2 turns. But he also has untapped, so he comes out ready to attack or block, which actually makes him pretty useful in a game situation. Next we have Skeleton Cave Dweller. This guy's pretty sweet. 2 attack, 3 defense for 2. It's actually pretty good stats anyway. And when this card's casted, you draw a card. If that card is a skeleton faction creature, you gain health equal to its worth. So that can be very good. So essentially, if I draw a card and it's a skeleton faction creature and it's this guy, I gain health equal to how much it's worth. It's worth 1 up top here, so I'd gain 1 health. But if you get lucky, you draw this guy right here, you're gaining 7 health. So pretty much, it's rare that would happen, but it's a very cool thing when it does happen. Got a little basic guy here, Lost Boneman, 1 attack, 1 defense. Sweet artwork there. He's nothing much though. And the last card for the skeleton faction is the leader, Death Reaper. There you go. He has 10 defense right here. You can play him for 6 chaos crystals or 8 health, which is a pretty good deal because he has 10 health. But this guy is actually a very good leader, and the reason he is because you can use his tap ability on your skeleton creatures or your opponents, which means you can tap him to give target skeleton faction creature the decay skill. Essentially, they'll be losing 1 health every turn permanently, so you can put that on your opponent's Colossal Bonebreaker. It'll die in 6 turns. Or you can put it on your own creature to kill them quicker to get your bigger guys out. Very versatile. You can also pay 2 chaos crystals to search your deck for a skeleton faction creature. Put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. Just cost 2 crystals for that. It's very good. And last but not least, you can sacrifice him on your turn to gain 10 health. So essentially there's really no downside to playing this guy. He's pretty good. He's not overpowered, but he is very good at what he does, and he helps the skeleton faction to win for sure. Alright everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. We hit 140 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Once we hit 200 or maybe 150, I guess we'll see. I'm going to be leaking some pictures of set 2, probably 200 subs. But I think at 150 I'm going to be releasing the Colossal Bonebreaker full art. I'm going to be showing you guys that on the channel and on my Instagram. Go ahead and follow that in the description. I also have my Game Crafter link to buy booster packs, starter decks, and resource packs. Very much appreciated. If you guys do purchase anything, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a shout out and post your picture, of course. And thank you guys so much for watching once again. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.